Hello everyone, this is Moses from Wilona's Cave, and right now I am going to do a video. Well, I'm going to set up the camera on the tripod, but I'm going to do a video on comments on the channel from Patreon and my channel, YouTube channel, and I'm going to go through my my system, my Haiku journey. Let's see the cover sheet, one moment. So I'm going to start with that, and I'm going to go through questions and things like that. So it's going to be a channel update, debuting my system, a whole bunch I've done. I just finished what was it? I just finished two things, but I finished the horror expansion version 1.2 alpha. I'll go through that as well. Everything will be, to join my Patreon, everything will be in the description and probably the comments as well. So let's get going. Let me set this camera up.
If you would like to support the channel and gain access to my game, Haiku Journey, a solo journaling game, which is an enchanting solo journaling game that blends the art of haiku with rich storytelling, transporting players from magical fantasy realms to the vast expanse of outer space and beyond. Please consider becoming a Patreon member today. Thank you for your support.
So now the camera is set up. Let me go through the book quickly, and while I'm doing this too, I'm gonna go through the computer. I'm even getting some really fresh comments coming in right now. It's almost like it's live, but it's not live. So I'll be answering questions that I've received in the past, some comments and some questions and some updates. Not too sure if I'm going to be using this cover sheet, but at least there's something there so you guys can see it. Wilona's Cave, Haiku Journey, a solo journaling game. So I'm assuming many of you have already seen a lot of my posts and some videos. I'll link up some stuff right now too, like I use this to do a horror ghost story, haiku campaign in a way. But let me go quickly through here. Right now, let me look at the camera and make sure everything looks good. Yeah, except for the reflection on the sheets. So this is currently in the core rulebook of Haiku Journey and all the expansions which you can get if you're a Patreon member, a paid Patreon member. There's some things that are for everyone. If you're in Patreon, you get it for free. But to get all the expansions and the bigger core rulebook set, you have to be a paid member on Patreon. And the link will be in the description, etc., etc. So right now, with all those combined, currently, over the years of me gathering creating my own tables, watching movies, listening, just thinking, walking around just thinking, and writing my own tables, currently, I'm perfecting it and adding more. There's 40 D100 plot hook tables. That's 4,000 plot hooks of all varying types. That's just plot hooks, not the word tables that the system has, fortune misfortune tables, which are D20s each, etc. And we're going to go through adventure I've created, and I'm currently updating right now and needs an update desperately, etc. So I'll go through it quickly. So this is the plot hook, so you kind of can see. And by the way, there'll be timestamps in this video. So if something is kind of dragging on for you, just see if there's something else in the future. Ancient artifacts and lore. So this is a Middle Eastern expansion. I didn't say. Maybe I'll say a little bit more about me. I haven't said nothing in this video ever about myself, and I've been getting a lot of those questions, especially over the past 6 months. Who am I? Except for, my journey of solo role-playing. I am Armenian, Lebanese Armenian, so that's why I did Middle Eastern expansion, because I don't think there is one. And I sent over, we'll see if he uses it or not, I sent Trevor, Me, Myself, and Die, Middle Eastern, which he's going to be going live soon today, but I won't have this video up by today. So if you watch it now, you missed the live. So that's why I did Middle Eastern expansion. That is with paid membership. I may do a sample, like a couple pages worth, so you guys can at least see. But regardless, so ancient artifacts and lore hooks, anthropomorphic animals. So if you like Peter Rabbit kind of themed story, we're going to go through the plot hooks. You guys, the core rulebook's 139 pages. The horror expansion, I think, is 32 pages. I just uploaded a new one today, version 1.2 alpha. So of horror, I just did it right before I started recording. Apothecary hooks, bounty hunter hooks, space opera, Mandalorian, you know what I mean. Cartographer's Dilemma, that one's fun. Desert Alchemy and Mystic Brews. I'm going to go through it very quickly. Desert Legends and Cities, Desert Mirages. This is all Middle Eastern. Desert Survival Challenges, Elementalist Hooks, because I love Avatar. That's why I really did that. I'm going to expand this more. And also Espionage and Intrigue Hooks, that's Middle Eastern. Explorers Logs, Fantasy Hooks. And that's going to be like Fantasy Hook, and I might extend it to where it's like Dungeon Fantasy, or castle fantasy, or what can happen in a castle, 100 things, word tables, verbs and nouns, forgotten astronaut, heists of the century. So if you like burglars or like Blades in the Dark kind of setting, or ways of playing, heists of the century. So while I'm going through all these horror hooks, let me interject answering one comment. I got one right now. Let's see. Of course I had to open. I'm on my computer on the right hand side. Well, you guys saw in the beginning of the video. Okay, so I got a question from a Patreon member, Dwayne Gardner. Can your system be used with other games? Yes. If you don't like haiku writing, if you don't like journaling, etc., let me just flip through quickly. I think all of these tables, there's your cartographer dilemmas. Here's your fortune, misfortune for Wizard's Garden, witches, fortune, misfortune. So here's your urban D20, noun examples for realms of fantasy, mythical creatures, life at sea, D20 tables, etc., etc., etc. It just keeps going and going. So, like if you ever played with systems that have a lot of random tables or things like that, I'm building this and going to build it and build it and build it to where it's going to bust the seams of this folder that I love. I love these folders. I have like 8 of them, these types. But it's just gonna, everything that you can imagine, I have written notes about of the journals. I have so many journals, and I'm just pulling from everything. So if you're like, Moses, even just comment, put a question in here. Moses, I'd like 100 or even 20 or whatever, 66 or even D1000. That'll take me a long time. But like, Moses, I want a D100 list of things I could find in a basement. Or I want a D100 list of mythical creatures that only live in basements in a cottage setting, whatever, everything. I am going to list this more and more. I'm going to expand on it more and more. So this will be just never ending. I don't stop thinking. I don't stop writing. So I just put it together and just try to make it look as nice as possible. And I put my own artwork in here as well. Let's see. Just as an example, I put some of my own artwork. The Abandoned Church. Just to break some things up a little bit. But yes, it can work for any setting. Look, I even have stronghold hooks. We're going to go through that right now. Let me get the D100 table. Let's see if we can find stronghold. Luckily, superhero, treasure hunter, vampire, witch, wizard garden, mystery hooks, space opera, horror expansion hooks, magical school. So any of you that like to maybe play, what is that thing called? Kids on Brooms, things like that. Magical school hooks, Living Dead fantasy, Living Dead modern, life at sea horror. So this is a horror expansion. So medium spiritualist. So if you want to be like a, ghost whisperer, basically, seances, Ouija board character, or you want a setting like that, if you want to play in a group, where now you have, in the horror expansion, which you have to be a paid member for, I do have, I think, a horror expansion that's a sample on the Patreon account. But regardless, so, you could just do anything you want. If you don't want to play as a haiku, or as a new optional rule I created with a new adventure. So let's go to stronghold hooks. Let's see here. Oh, I see stronghold hooks. So D100. So let's roll one. So this list offers a broad spectrum of challenges and mysteries, ranging from political intrigue and mystical threats to internal strife and supernatural phenomena. Perfect for crafting rich narratives centered around the stewardship and defense of a stronghold. I love strongholds. So, but a lot of them are lacking. Even Forbidden Lands has a good list. And there's, I think, a third-party things for Forbidden Lands for strongholds. They still aren't enough for me. So I may even expand this. So there might be a stronghold horror, stronghold upkeep, stronghold business transactions, etc. All D100s. Yes, once you become a member, which the current price, I don't like promoting stuff too much, but I guess this video is about promoting my system. So at the current price, you get all this plus the future expansions and plus updates, everything. So already I'm at around 4,000 plot hooks plus everything else. Just try to find that for the price. But I love doing this. Okay, let's see. So you have a stronghold. You're a king, let's say. You could be a lord or whatever. And let's see what happens. So I'm stuck. You're either playing solo or you have a group with you. So what happens now, Game Master? 66. Of course, it has to be a double. 66. A hidden library filled with forbidden knowledge is discovered, offering power and attracting dark forces. There we go. Let's do another one. 14. A legacy beast is sighted nearby, threatening the surrounding lands. There you go. Simple. One more time. 2. A mysterious plague spreads among the stronghold's livestock. There we go. Now you don't have to think. You see? You don't have to think. Everything's here for you. And then you're like, well, what? I need a little more than that. Now, do I have a stronghold D20? Let me see. I might not have a stronghold D20. If not, I could just make one. So I have like season, weather, conflicts, dreams, aspirations, emotions, magic, fantasy town, magical fantasy items, nature, ocean, fantasy combat, realm, dungeon, things like that. So anyone that has this game of mine, or if you're just watching, of course, let me know in the comments. Does this look better, having it where every second one is has a background, or does this look better? This takes a long time to do. This is very quick. But if this helps you, I'd rather do it that way. Let me know. So, like I said, all of them have a fortune, misfortune. If I'm missing any, that's where future updates are for. Anthropomorphic, apothecary. So let's go to, and I try to keep everything on one page so it's easy. Let's go to Stronghold, Superhero Stronghold. Here we go. So let's say you're playing the game, Haiku Journey, and you get a fortune. It's by scoring. And there's also optional rules now, which are free for everyone. It's my first adventure, The Curse of the Blood Moon. It's a free adventure. I'm still doing the artwork for that, and I'm still working on version 1.1 alpha. It needs a much needed update for it. And I'm making an example of play as well for it. So let's say you either play Haiku Journey or the optional rule, or you're in a group setting and you know your players that you're judging them, you know what, they're not really doing that well. So let's go to a misfortune and let's screw up their lives a little bit more in this imaginary world of ours with the stronghold, running a stronghold. So let's say Haiku Journey, optional rules, or group play, it didn't go well. Now we go to the misfortune table. Oh, let me get a D20 one moment. So let's go, this Trusty Dragon Bane D20. Let's go and see what misfortune happens. So you don't have to think. There's too much stuff going on in a GM's head, I'm assuming. I only play solo. But there's a lot of stuff going on in Solo's head too. That wasn't a real roll. Hold on. God, it doesn't really like to roll on the plastic, huh? 3. Treason within the ranks. There we go. You can go off that one. 5th, look at the 15. Dragon attack stronghold. I guess the dragon really wants to attack. So another one. 3? What? 15-3, 15-3? If this rolls a 15, I swear. 4. Good. Plague outbreak in quarters, you know. So I could make all of these, everyone. I could make all these a D100 list. All of them. D100 fortune, D100 misfortune, or D66 on each. I only have so much time. So I rather, if you don't like, I mean, there has to be something you like on here. But if it was like 10 of them you don't, well, maybe the other 10 gives you inspiration. But maybe one day I will, you know, extend it out to a D100. I don't know. All right, let's go to another question. Let's go to the YouTube channel. Let's see if I got any questions. I got a lot of thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Okay, now I got a question. I got a text, sorry about that. Do you have a video that showcases this cool setup? So I did a video. I'll put up the shorts video here. I'll do a separate video, a nice one, where I take one of these binders and I play white box because it's a thin little book, and I have a few of the expansions printed out as well. And I have a dry erase board this size, perfectly fits in here, and I have all my markers and things in here and dice, and I just pop it out, and I have the Dragon Bane. There's a file folder in here. There's files to put the stuff in there. I have the Dragon Bane cardboard minis that all in there. I pop them out. The stands are in this bag, and I just plop up on the dry erase board, and I play in a scenario. Usually, like it's a battle, like it's battle royale. So I'll have like Gorm, Gumach, Damara, Merrick, the Witcher, everybody, Kipper, the blind mute druid gnome, illusionist, and just see what they can do with white box against a horde of incoming enemy. And if they beat it, I upgrade them and then do a bigger horde next and see how long they can go. So that is answering, and that was from Travis Cox. So thank you for that question. Let's do another one really quick. So from Adam Casino, will this incorporate Strider mode? So, oh, good. Thank you. I read that question. I'll answer that question really quick. This is more, Adam, this is more of a community campaign. I'm doing what I'm hearing. There's a lot of shortage of GMs. So I'm GMing basically in a way, a polling YouTube community campaign with everyone where I am doing my own solo campaign at home. And when it's time for like a catalyst or a conflict or whatever, or a change up, I ask the community what step you want to go next. So leading to that, yes, I will be using the Strider mode, but it's not going to be filmed as such. It's just YouTube community posts on this campaign, on those campaigns. So he's referring to the One Ring 2nd Edition 1, the poll, and Avatar Legends was very close to second, and it just dropped off. But I want to lead to something else. So there's a current poll. So if you're watching this, I'm going to let it keep running unless I didn't edit this fast enough. If you can go to the poll and vote, the polling for these community campaigns tend to be like always ending in ties. So it's tying right now. I don't really want to say it because now people will just choose those. Let me see what it is. I'll just watch it right now. Creating, all three of these are tied. Influence political key figures, confront a common threat, and establish a healing sanctuary. This is for the Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay community campaign. So all those are tied with a lot of people that voted. So if you guys can I'll let it run for probably a couple more days. So, all right, let's get back to the book. So I'll roll on a couple tables so you guys can see. So this is a Forgotten Astronaut. This list sets cosmic mysteries, ancient civilizations. Let's see what we get. 98. Found to have been a key figure in an alien prophecy about the end of the universe. So those are great hooks, and then all these have D20 tables, fortune, misfortune, heist of the century. Here we go. 7. Steal a dream catcher that can capture and materialize dreams from the reclusive inventor's clifftop manor. So all these kind of cool things. Steal a torch that burns with cold flame, freezing instead of burning from the cryogenic lab. Things like that. 100 of those type of things. Life at sea. I've been getting a lot of cool responses, and 2 people stated that they printed this out. They became a Patreon member, printed it out, and they are playing at their parents' nursing home, where they're rolling dice and probably helping rolling dice. They mentioned that they said some of them can't roll, and then they're helping them write poems, haikus, for these amazing people, these amazing elderly people that have so much wisdom. And who knows, they've been probably playing role-playing games, we don't know, and they're probably just really excited, or they're probably poets, or who knows what. There's so much experience in a nursing home. It's such a shame, in my opinion, that it's washing away, every day. And there's so much experience of cooks, chefs, doctors, lawyers, business people, poets, writers. They are playing with them, and I've been hearing some positive results. And they're actually presenting their poems too, like standing up and saying their poem. And then I had another one tell me that they are a retired teacher, that they are side income of tutoring, and they're helping people that are having trouble coming up with stories. They're using this system, the Haiku Journey system, to come up with stories. And then I have a lot of people tell me that three people have told me that they used it for their game sessions. One for Forbidden Lands, another one for D&D, and the other one didn't tell me, but they said that they used it. I want to know if you guys want, it'll take some extra work, but if you guys want for all the parents out there, if you guys want a children-friendly system as well, like a subsystem, to where, I mean, obviously you don't want horror and stuff, but like anthropomorphic animals. So like, let's roll this. This is like a Peter Rabbit theme, by the way. 6, a daring rescue mission to save a friend from a cat's clutches, or let's roll again. 3, a secret meeting of the woodland creatures under the moonlight. 100, wow. Some really cool rolls. A quest to find the end of the rainbow seen after a rainstorm. So this is like, a lot of people that are adults probably will like this too if you like Peter Rabbit like I do. This came about because of my daughter. This right here. Anthropomorphic. Well, she didn't say that. If she did, oh my God. But she said, what do you think about I asked her about my game. She doesn't know what she's looking at really. But she loves rolling dice. So I'd roll dice and I'd tell her what happened. And she's like, oh, this is fun. But, we were just finishing watching Peter Rabbit. She goes, I don't like it. I said, you don't like the game? Why? There's no Peter Rabbit. And that's why there's anthropomorphic animals now, plot hooks, which have their own D20 table, misfortune, fortune, etc., etc. So like anthropomorphic would be here. So let's say you were trying to find the end of the rainbow after the rainstorm. Your haiku or your GM playing it with your kids using, I don't know, what do they call, Hero Kids, or even Dragonbane. But they're, you're playing children campaigns, like finding the end of the rainbow. They don't find it. Okay, well, what happened because you don't find it? Let's roll a D20, and let's find out on the misfortune table. A 3, wander into hostile territory. So maybe one of the bunny rabbits, like let's say you're 3 bunnies, you have 3 kids, 3 bunnies, or one's a badger and 2 bunnies. One of the bunnies gets overzealous. Let's say your daughter gets overzealous and runs too far, and everybody tells him stop, and he goes into like a dark part of the forest with a lot of thorns and stuff, and that's where the foxes live, the foxes' den. And now you have an adventure to try to get them out of there. And that all happened because you rolled on to find the end of the rainbow and rolled a misfortune, wander into a hostile territory. So yes, this can be used for any game you want, and if not, tell me why. Or there's a certain setting if you've downloaded this, and I'll make a D100. I'll make plot hooks. I'll make encounter tables. The first encounter table has been already made. So I just made, here's a character sheet of Haiku Journey. So I just put this out this morning. The earlier versions are free on Patreon. So this is the Haiku Journey, a solo journaling game, Horror Expansion 1.2a Alpha. So this has tarot card prompts and encounter tables. This is the first encounter table I've done. I like them, and I don't that much. Remember, it's alpha still. It's too general. So I named it General Encounter, but it's too general. Like, I don't know if it's going to fit everything. I may have to categorize it even more. So we'll see how that goes. So here's a table of contents here. Here's the tarot card. I'm just doing it the major arcana. So tarot card prompts with reversals, general setting, the full. And I just got another comment, just came in. That was if you heard that chime go off. Another comment. It's about every 5-10 minutes I get a comment on this channel, which is good. On just this channel. My other channel in 1 month got 400 comments. It's hard to keep up sometimes. So there is the world, judgment, the sun. So if you do tarot cards upright, Joy and success radiate. Reversed, misplaced optimism leads to a setback. How does your character rediscover joy? So, in context of your game, that could mean a lot. Okay? So then I have tarot cards, prompts with reversals, horror setting. So then we go into the horror hooks. This is the horror expansion. So we got fantasy horror hooks, and I'll roll a couple of them. I haven't printed out the Middle Eastern one here in this binder. I still got to print that out, but I want to go through another version before I print it out. So Life at Sea hooks, horror, Life at Sea. So let's see. Let's roll for that one. 27. Island natives practice dark rituals. Boom. There we go. Another one. 80. Let's see. Life at Sea, horror. Sea festival turns sinister under a blue-red moon. Oh, excuse blue. Blood-red moon. I don't know why I said blue. Regardless. Living Dead hooks, fantasy setting. So let's do modern. Living Dead modern settings. So basically, like The Walking Dead, basically. 2. The main route to a vital supply depot has been destroyed. Find another way or rebuild it under threat of undead attacks. Let's do another one. 12. A fire threatens to engulf your shelter. Save what you can and find a new place to call home. There we go. So I still got to expand these more. Let's see what else I did. Let's see. Medium spiritualist. So that would be an interesting. Wouldn't that be kind of cool? It's kind of like Monster of the Week. This would be perfect Monster of the Week setting, really. But there is a medium, by the way, in Demon of the Shadow Lord, which I love, by the way. Demon of the Shadow Lord is an amazing system. I have everything of that system. But there is a medium class. Regardless, so if you're playing, let's say Demon Shadow Lord or whatever setting, Pathfinder, whatever you want, a Dungeon World, doesn't matter. Okay, and you want to have a medium. Let's say the GM is the medium, or you can play solo too. You can just play the game, and you have 3 players, and they're also there, like they're to hire that medium, and the GM is the medium, and the GM's like, okay, what happens after now? I don't know. I can't think of anything without copying from horror movies. Okay, let's find out. Let's see what the seance does. 77. Kind of. A double 7 for the medium seance, huh? Spirit of a gambler haunts old casino. Now that's because I thought of a lucky 777 slot machine. So I go, I wonder if 77, I'm going to do a gambler casino slot machine. So Spirit of a gambler haunts the old casino. So now it's like you could just change the setting to that you're in the casino, or change it to like there's a gardener that used to help around this house but died mysteriously. Or who knows what, the previous owner. So let's roll another one. 50. Mediums trapped in a spiritual time loop, etc., etc. Spirit messages lead to an ancient curse. Horror mirror reflects another dimension. So forth and so forth. Then you have your mystery hooks. Space opera horror hooks. So let's see how that one. 32. Oxygen garden evolves, consuming crew members. 73. Let's see. Space station orbiting a black hole faces strange phenomenon. So now we're at the encounters for horror encounters, general setting. This is my first encounters of my system. So let's see what happens. So this is not the plot hook. This is after you got your plot hook. And then let's see what happens. Like some kind of conflict happened or an encounter. Let's see. 96. Haunted crypt seals shut with players inside. So now, if that doesn't affect right now, and the GM likes that, the GM can, turn the campaign into something like that, and then use that at that moment. If they're not in a crypt at this moment. So if they're investigating something like Scooby-Doo or something, playing as Scooby-Doo, now they go into a crypt, it's shut close. Now they have to figure out how to get out. So this is my first adventure for Haiku Journey. This is which also has new optional rules to play instead of writing a haiku. The Curse of the Blood Moon, Haiku Journey Adventure, version 1.0 alpha. I'm trying to finish 1.1 right now. So this is free for everybody and will always be free. So if it goes to version 2.7, it's still going to be free. So how this works is that what I thought of, a lot of people loved, here's the optional rule here. A lot of people loved the haiku thing, but some people said, I don't like being conflicted or constricted like that. Can you just open it up a bit? Does it have to be haiku? I don't mind writing, but does it have to be haiku? So I created something else, optional rules for sentence writing instead of haikus. So basically with this, the more words you choose, you might as well choose 3 words, and the more words you use in your sentences, the higher the modifier you'll get on a d20 roll to see if you'll get a fortune or misfortune. So now you're building your own modifier to see if you'll get a fortune or misfortune. Instead of trying to score your sheet, you're actually rolling a d20, and hopefully you can use all 3 words in your sentence structure to get it. So then there's difficulty levels. So there's easy, average, and hard, just like Haiku Journey. Okay, but this one is sentences must be 30 syllables max, average sentences must be 25, hard 22 max. Okay, after writing a sentence, or after writing your sentences, I should have put sentences, roll a 1d20. Add your word modifier. If you use 3 of the words, add +3 to the modifier, and then determine misfortune or fortune. 10 or less is a misfortune, 11 or more is a fortune. So now what's cool about that, what I've been trying to do, now this is all probably changed now. Well, it is changed, but I got some future expansion ideas. What's changed is its outline is so much better and layout so much better than this. So every chapter in a way of this adventure, and by the way, this adventure could be used in your campaign. So you could play this out on your own as a GM, playing solo, and no 2 stories will be alike, no matter if you play it or somebody else plays it, because there's so many word tables. You see how many word tables there are? Fortune tables, misfortune tables, verb and noun tables. There's so many things that the story from A, chapter 1, to B, all this stuff, to C, chapter 9, the aftermath, all of this will always be the same. But what happens in them is always going to be different because of your dice rolls. So you could just play this out and say, that was kind of fun. Now you got your campaign for any setting you want to use. Okay? Now, the only thing I'm thinking about, let me know. I'll show you an example here. I'm using easy, medium, average, and hard as a DC, difficulty class, or difficulty rating. So the arrival is easy. Okay? Haiku score 17 or optional rule of 30 syllables max. Okay, and that's the example I'm doing. I haven't printed it out yet. So here's the theme. Introduction to Valoria under the blood moon. Task, use the arrival word table, which is over here in the back, to compose a haiku or sentences about your first impressions of the city and its anxious inhabitants. Encounter, in navigating through the crowded, whispering streets to find lodging, sensing the unease that grips the city. Okay, now I'm thinking about making a D4 or a D6 on the encounter to make it even more, but it's really hard to do that when everything else is so, the fortune, misfortune tables work with that encounter. So I might keep it like that. So then you roll on this. I already did an example, everybody, but let me show you really quick. So that's what you just arrived, or your party has arrived. You don't have to do a single player. Your party has arrived to a city, and there's a blood moon in the sky. So you're navigating through the crowded whispering streets to find lodging, sensing the unease that grips the city. That's the encounter. So then you go to the arrival on the, not there. There it is. See, I forgot one, the secret society. I had to add it. So this is all going to change. So D20 table, the arrival. So you roll it 3 times. 3, whisper. 19, threshold. 4, looming. So if you could use whisper, looming, and threshold in your haiku or in your 30 syllable max sentence structure, because haikus only have 17 syllables, I believe. 575. Yeah, 17. So you get to do 30, you could basically double it. If you don't want to do it as a haiku, you write it out, and if you use all those 3 words in your haiku, you have to at least use one. if you use all 3 words, you get a +3 to roll on your fortune roll. Yeah, so this is or fate roll, I guess. So let's say you got all 3 of those words in a sentence structure, okay? And you roll, and if you get 11 or more with that +3, so that's, what is that? An 8. If you get an 8 or more, then you get to go on as a fortune for the next 17. So you got it. So then that, which is a 20. So then you go to the fortune table, the arrival. Then you roll a d6. 3, a mysterious figure gifts you a talisman for protection. So then you would write that fortune in your next chapter, the Mad Prophet, to where maybe this Mad Prophet gave you a talisman. Now you see that? How many other rolls you could have done? It could have been, from this to this, could have been completely different. So here's the adventure right here, everybody. And when you're done, it'll be only 1 page. You got your complete adventure. Now, here's the thing. Every number 6 misfortune table. Every number 6 is on the misfortune is a game-ending prompt. So for the arrival, if you do misfortune table and you get a 6, game ending. You're mistakenly accused of a crime and imprisoned, ending your quest prematurely. Then there's additional rules to continue that. So like do one more haiku or sentence structure on explaining that misfortune. Or I might create other rules in the future where maybe your party members can get you out and you can continue the story and you have to write that out. We'll figure that out. But I hope everybody sees the whole point to this. I know there's a lot. There's hundreds of pages in this thing and there's more to come. More to come. I love doing this stuff. In all honesty, everybody, I should have started this way. Also, I am making my own solo. I have been making for years, decades actually, but I'm perfecting it finally to be for the general masses and not just for me, which will also be included in Patreon, is my own solo rules, oracles, NPC conversation starters, focuses. I debuted that system, or at least the pre-alpha of the system, on my Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay Dungeon World Season 2, Episode 1. That's where I use my system. So that will be included in Patreon. You're going to get a lot in this Patreon, everybody. Even if you're just the free member, I'll always input some stuff in there, my artwork and stuff like that. But I wish I started the channel doing this. But I'm going to be honest and candid with you. The reason why I chose to use, I own them all, so I paid money. So I'm not trying to say anything negative, meaning now I have mine, I won't use theirs. But because I have to acknowledge them. So like Mythic, Book of Random Tables, Maze Rats, Perilous Wilds, all this amazing supplements that I've done 200 plus videos on, okay? I only use them because to help my search results when I first started. Because if I put this, hey everybody, this is Moses from Wilona's Cave, and here's my game Haiku Journey. You're going to go, what is this? I don't like haikus, bye. But here, hello everybody, this is Moses from Wilona's Cave. I have Mythic Game Master Emulator here. I have Book of Random Tables. I have Perilous Wilds. Oh, I've heard of those supplements and systems before. I'll stick around. That's why I initially did it, everybody. Now, you could say, well, that's kind of, you used them. No, I didn't. I didn't use them. I used them for 200 plus episodes. So trust me, they've, which I'm glad for, but they benefited from that. Trust me, the traffic that I've probably sent to those companies from buying their supplements, let alone the systems I use, like Warhammer Fantasy, how many people have told me they bought it because of me, because they were too afraid to play it, etc. So, but I really wish I started with mine. I really do. Because this is the way I think. Nice and quick, simple, concise, and ever expanding. I don't like waiting on other people. It's like, man, I need 100 dish ideas for a banquet hall. And I search, I don't see anything. Or I find something, it's 99 cents and it's junk. You know, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you have seen that too, where you buy something, it's like, that is not what I thought it would be like. I'm tired of that. I'd rather make my own stuff, which I do. I've always done. It's just I wish I debuted my channel over 2 years ago with this. All right, everybody. Well, I went on and on and on, so let me know if there's any other questions that you have. This again is Moses from Wilona's Cave, and I thank all of you for all your help. I thank all the Patreon members as well. There's quite a few of you already, so that's good to see. Keep getting involved in my community posts on Facebook and on my YouTube channel. I post 3 to 4 things, maybe even 5 things a day. I just never stop. I need to learn to slow down. I really do. My family's telling me that. My family's telling me, slow down, Moses. Slow down. You don't have to get everything done at once. But I get ultra focused, and that's not good. I'm trying to work on that. All right, everybody. Happy gaming. Bye.